No one said working out is easy. Sometimes you need that extra push just to get a few more reps in.
9, 10.
But these athletes simply won't stop, even when life throws them the toughest curveballs.
For most of my life, I was told that I was never going to be able to throw a curveball, let alone pitch, because of my condition. Looking back on it, I just want to prove people wrong. I just go up there, I grab the ball, and I think to myself, I run this game. Growing up, my mom, my dad, they wanted me and my brother to play sports, find something that we love. I got a lot of stares and a lot of questions, but for me, I was just like, yeah, I was born with it. Like, I don't know any other way, this is me.
Dylan has Proteus syndrome. Once a baby is born, their body parts never stop growing. In the first 5 years of his life, he had 6 surgeries, but Dylan's been able to deal with those and adapt.
In my case, it was my fingers and my toes. I can't really move. These 3 fingers and then these 2. I had issues that most people take for granted, like buttoning up a shirt. The sleeve ones, those are the worst.
He thinks that if you can do it, he should be able to do it, and he figures out how to do it.
Baseball's always been my favorite sport, but I've had some obstacles because I've had to figure out how to catch because I can't squeeze my glove, and it's the same thing with my curveball. Most people have both fingers on it, but I just use one and I learned a new grip.
The way the ball comes off of his middle finger and ring finger, he just gets a lot more spin than normal people do.
It turns out, because of my condition, I can throw a curveball that few other pitchers can. Even though I wasn't the fastest pitcher and I didn't have the greatest body for pitching, I always knew that I could pitch because I was accurate and I could hit my spots.
When Dylan came here as a freshman, he was never a guy that we thought was going to contribute as much as he did. And almost by accident, he got his opportunity.
We were playing our rival school in the second game of the year, and our pitcher was struggling.
Dylan was the only pitcher on the bench, and he threw 3 scoreless innings. And then we kind of knew at that point that we had something.
After that, my ERA was the second best on the team. The highlight of the year for me was when I came 2 outs shy of throwing a no-hitter. A lot of people were surprised, but I knew that I could do it, and it just showed everyone that I'm a good pitcher. My family was always loving and said, just be you, everything will work out.
I'm not sick when I run. Like, I'm just so normal. You wouldn't think someone who goes unconscious like 14 times a day runs. Like, you just wouldn't put it that way. My name is Katie Cook. I'm 20 years old. I live in Dublin, Ireland, and I love running. I was diagnosed with 2 types of epilepsy when I was 9 years old, one of which is frontal lobe epilepsy. So at the moment, I have 14 seizures in a 24-hour period. They used to be 16, 17, so we're coming down slightly, which is woo.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I was getting really bad dizziness from my medicine. So I went into the hospital and they loaded me, which is a term for epileptics when you're going on like a new medicine, and I didn't wake up until 6 days later. I was immobile for about the guts of 2 years. I moved from being in a wheelchair to being in a Zimmer frame. When I gradually started getting back into running, it kind of gave me this newfound energy. I don't know why. I put on my running boots and started running. I feel like it's so cliched, but you kind of feel like on top of the world, that you could do anything. Like, I don't feel sick anymore until I have a seizure, obviously. And I'm like, damn it.
You alright?
It's an amazing feeling, like all the endorphins like pulsing through your body, and it's great. Like, it's honestly like amazing. I train alone for most of my runs, like during the week. However, I do have a pal for my races, like official races, which is Dr. Colin DOHERTY.
So I have two roles. So first of all, I'm her doctor. The other role I play, which is to be her partner in running. My job is to make sure that when Katie has a seizure, if she's running, that nobody carts her off the course. Oh, Katie's having a seizure. So before I knew Katie, she would run races, and if they were in public, people would, you know, quite reasonably insist that she be carried off the course, much to her displeasure. So my job is to say no, announce that I am her doctor, and that she's fine and she'll recover, and then she gets up and she runs.
I don't let anything really get in the way of living life at all. I just don't think it's the way to go. I suppose, yeah, I don't let epilepsy get in the way at all.
Football is the most popular sport in Sierra Leone. And in the city of Freetown, there is one very special team. Meet the Flying Stars.
My name is Mohamed Lappia. I play for Salon Flying Star and Petit Football Club. I play the attacking role.
Mohamed grew up playing football. But when he was only 10 years old, he stepped on a landmine and had to have his right leg amputated. And unfortunately, Mohamed isn't alone.
The Salon Flying Star amputee football team, now all affected amputee players and so did it.
Every member of the Flying Stars has lost limbs as a result of the violence that occurred during the Civil War in Sierra Leone. But the players don't let their injuries stop them from getting into the game.
Because they play game, we really rough. Them coaches there, they jump. They really rough.
Then they play with 1 foot, 1 leg. My name is Baitalawali. Me na the coach for the Flying Star Amputee Football Club. Presently, na FREETOWN, na 30 players. 8, 9, 10, down. Well, really, we will train full time. We will train throughout the week. Hey, stay. Well, really, we can train. We get cone there, we can put. We get some kind dribble there, they do. We get less shots run and this, that, and short kick, long kick, penalty, shootout. I will like same thing normal, like how they able to do. Leon, change, Evans.
Not only is it a competitive sport, it is helping them cope with their injuries and overcome the stigma that's associated with the disabled.
You know, this discrimination on this country who offend himself. We need for do something where they make, we forget about the problem.
And what better way than football?
I like football, especially the amputee football. Don't change my life. They don't make and they go on the street for go big. Don't give me a word of courage. Not only me, the company player then.
When I'm out there riding my bike and I have this pump on, it's almost like it's not even there. I just feel the freedom of being out there and feeling the speed and adrenaline. It's just hanging out there riding our bike. Some might say I'm like Dora the Explorer, because I'm always wearing this backpack. But this backpack keeps me alive. My name is Hannah Jordan. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm 15 years old and I'm a competitive cyclist. My long-term goals are to become pro and be in the Olympics in 2020 for Tokyo and bring back the Tour de France for women. I have an unknown rare metabolic disease. From when I was very little, I was in and out of the hospital and very sick all the time. And when I was 9, they gave me only a couple months to live. It's like I sort of skipped childhood. My mom took me all over the country to some specialists and they found a solution and they gave me a thing called a G-tube that pumps sugar into my stomach. It basically keeps my blood sugar at a normal rate. I've always wanted to do competitive stuff, but for most of my life, I couldn't play sports because of my condition. When I got on the bike, it was almost like my problems weren't there. It's just been like a whole new world open up to me.
This one right here is really special. This was her first one, and it's a silver medal, but she'd actually only been riding a bike 2 months. And then shortly after that, she did this one. She did 101 miles in 5 hours and 18 minutes, which is very, very fast. And that's kind of when we realized that she probably was gonna be pretty good at this.
This weekend, I will be competing in Tulsa Tough, a 3-day race. Each day, 1,000 racers compete from 6 different countries around the world. These women are usually 20 and above. My mom and my dad, they're my biggest supporters. They take me to all the races and help me make it in cycling. My mom, she helps me get everything ready. And my dad, at the 200-meter mark, he starts yelling. Move up, Hannah, move up, go! It's like a mental marker of like when I start needing to sprint. What makes me different from other cyclists is the ability to tap in that willpower and determination. I like to tell people it's sort of coded in my DNA to be a fighter. Anyone that's been in the hospital for a long time or has gone through some struggles or pain or suffering, they just know how to dig deep and tap in and to be resilient. And even if you lose some days and you win some others, you have to keep getting back up each and every single time to go out there and ride your bike.